So this is my version of the mini leech. I tie it on a size 18 jig hook, which is very similar to a size 16 or maybe even a 14 traditional hook. And then I use a 3/32 bead. I'll also be using ostrich hurl, black flashabou, black pine squirrel, and peacock hurl. I'm also using a green thread. I believe it's size 8/0. So I'll just get the thread started here. Get a few wraps over itself and then cut off the excess. I'll pull that back to about the hook shank. And then we'll grab our flashabou. And we pull that up the thread. And then get that set in. Now on top of that flashabou, I'm going to do the peacock hurl. So we'll go ahead and thread that in as well. I'm going to cut off the tip first. That way we have a decent feather to work with. I'll just tie that on in. And then we're going to take the thread back just to where the hook starts to curve. And then we'll go ahead and pull that thread forward. Make sure it's out of the way. And then we're going to grab those flashabou. So I used 2 strands of flashabou and then it's doubled over, so it makes 4 strands, and that makes it a little quicker and easier to wrap. We'll go ahead and start wrapping that in. Make sure everything is covered. You'll see here it starts to separate, and I just use my finger to kind of push it back together. I try to keep it together as much as possible as I wrap. Once I get about 3/4 of the way up the hook, maybe a little further, we'll go ahead and tie it off. I'll get 2 wraps in there, and then we pull it back over, wrap around it again, and go ahead and snip it off with the scissors. And then we'll jump right into wrapping that peacock hurl. And so with this, I'll leave, a decent gap between each wrap. That way you can still see the flashabou underneath. So it's got a nice contrast of both the kind of shiny green color of the peacock hurl and then the black flashabou. So same thing, I'll bring that up to about 3/4 of the way up the hook. Get 2 wraps in there. Pull it back over itself. Get a few wraps around. And go ahead and snip that off. At this point, we can grab the pine squirrel zonker. I cut about a little over a half an inch section for this, and then I pulled the first few pieces of it off just to give us something to kind of tie down. You can see the very tip of that is kind of missing the fur, so makes it a little easier to tie down. So we'll go ahead and wrap that in. And then we'll take our other hurl and we'll go ahead and wrap that in as well. And same thing with this. I cut the tip off just so we have something fresh and clean to work with. We'll tie that right in. And then I'd like to get my wraps in now as far as cleaning up the front end, making sure it all tapers well. And then we'll make sure that thread is out of the way. We'll just twist that in. I like to wrap it around itself a few times, make it nice and thick. And we'll go ahead and tie that off. And we'll clip the excess off. And then I just like to get a few wraps in there to kind of thicken up the thread there. And then we'll grab our whip finisher. And I like to whip finish twice. I mentioned that in most of my videos. So the first one I just do 2, tighten it down. And then the second time I do 3. And that should be all you need for your whip finish. So get those 3 wraps in, tighten it down, and then cut off the excess thread. And there we go. That is the mini Leech on a size 18 jig hook with a bead head. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.